telling the ushers to shut the door and is asking to raise upwards of $40,000. And I don't know how old this is, and I don't know how what the date is on this video because it looks pretty old. But I was able to find the video on X, so I'm gonna share this with you guys really quickly. And this is apparently the video of Marvin Sapp saying, "Shut the door, 40,000. Let's raise $40,000." I wanted to get the full context, so I'm gonna review it with you guys here. Make sure y'all hit a like, put the algorithm, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications.
That is involved. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant. There's 1,000 of you tonight, and those that are watching, it's 1,000 that's watching online. This is a small seed. If I get 1,000 online to give this, if I get 1,000 in the sanctuary to give this, that's $40,000 tonight. I'm challenging.
Can somebody in the chat, actually tell me when this was? I want to know when this was. Somebody in the chat, please give me an update on exactly when this happened. Was it recent? I heard somebody in the chat say that it was this past Sunday. I don't know. I'm trying to understand it. Somebody in the chat, tell me when this was, all right? I'm going to continue to play it.
Challenging each of you all down here to give a $20 seed. I actually think $20 is a lot of money. $20, believe it or not, when my late wife, Melinda P. Sapp, was alive, was a good date. I could take her to the movies, buy a box of popcorn, get 1 soda, 2 straws. I wasn't cheap, that's swag. I was looking in her eyes, she's looking in mine. Can't do that no more. Now, everyone up here, we've all sold and seeded, but I need everyone standing up here with us, with me, to plant a seed of $100.
All right, I seen somebody said this was July 2024, all right? So roughly a year and some change ago.
Because again, it costs to sit up here. I got you.
Thank y'all for the research.
Let's see. So put your 20 away, preachers. That 20 wasn't for you. And this is what I need you to do. If you're giving electronically or even if you're giving tangibly, I'm going to have y'all come to the altar and give it because I need to see 1,000 people moving. Bring them baskets. I want the baskets up here. I want to see the folk. Y'all start moving. Y'all can bring it right now. Come. Even if you're giving tangibly, just put your hand on take your phone and stick it on the bucket.
Listen to the organ player.
Shh. Giving is worship.
Oh, what a sales pitch. Hey, dog said, dog said giving is worship.
Giving is worship. Giving is worship. Giving is worship. This ain't the time to talk.
Hey, dog shushed him.
1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people need to give $20. 1,000 people online need to give $20. This is easy, saints. This is an easy miracle. We should be able to raise $40,000 tonight just from y'all giving.
This is an easy miracle. All right. Easy miracle. All right. So let's break this down. All right. Because as a person that was raised in a church, especially a church that's still on a Democratic plantation, as we seen earlier in this video, I've been to a lot of churches and I've seen this happen in a lot of places. I've seen it happen in a lot of places. So let me say this. Prosperity preaching is more prevalent in the black church than any other congregation. yet the black church is the poorest in how they help people, how they change lives, how they impact the community. Matter of fact, I will go so far as to say if you want to see a poor community, all you got to do is drive down the street and see where you can see 2 or 3 churches within a 2 or 3 block radius, say all right down the street from each other. Sometimes you can drive and you can see a church on every corner of that block. And then you'll see a liquor store and you'll see 2 or 3 more churches and a liquor store and 2 or 3 more churches. You'll often see that most servers, if anybody has ever served, if anybody has ever seen people come into the restaurants and stuff like that, the days that most servers hate to serve is Sunday morning / afternoon because they can't stand seeing church groups come into the building because they are often the cheapest and the poorest ones that come in. People hate serving black church groups. It is a fact. This has nothing to do with my opinion. I'm just telling you the truth. Servers, ask any server, they hate to see a bunch of black people dressed up in suits on Sunday. It's the worst time to see it. Poorest communities, the ones that raise the most money, the ones that least do anything for the community. And this is something that women embrace because they always want to make sure that they tithe and find a way into the congregation, and somehow, some way, the churches and the pastors become the celebrities of the community, and you'll see their names on some kind of sign, some street sign replaced and all of this stuff. And it is the worst thing for the community. As a matter of fact, I will tell you that most of the time, and it is historically true, yet we haven't changed the narrative of it, the church pastor, bishop, and preachers and singers, matter of fact, you know what they do in the black community? They tour the Chitlin circuit. The Chitlin circuit is the churches. They will go around and do comedy shows. They will go church to church to church, and they will, you know what I'm saying, do singing shows. Gospel singers have often benefited, and then they've obviously started to have some form of preaching. They mix it in the two, and they do their little sermon and stuff like that. And I will also tell you that it is also one of the biggest abominations on the face of this earth, because you'll see some of the most the most promiscuity, and you'll see some of the gayest people in church. And the thing that they do the most, that it is the most, it is a money printing tool to keep most people poor, which is why I still tithe to this day. I tithe way more than I make, but I tithe it to the streets. I give it directly to the people because you are supposed to be there to serve, and serving is adding value into people's lives, not requiring them to continue to keep your doors open and to keep your car dope. You should be working a regular job, because I'm going to tell you, most of the time, for most of these churches, not all, but for most of these, because there are some good ones. I don't want to just completely kill the whole church at itself. There are some good places. I know of some good places. I know of some places I visited personally, and I know some people that actually work a regular job and they still have a huge congregation and they don't take a salary whatsoever. And the church exists to actually serve the community. They allow for people to do Alcoholics Anonymous. They pour into the community. They do a lot of stuff. So there are some good places, but the overwhelming majority of them, especially in a black church, they will sit there and tell you to give your last, and they're going to pray on it, and God is going to give you a 100-fold and a 4-fold blessing. That's the narrative. 100-fold and a 4-fold blessing. That is what they say. And they live off of your donations, yet they give you nothing. Nothing on what you can do on a regular basis to get yourself in trouble. And this is why men, the same way that we see guys that finesse y'all on the internet, and we can see it when people are really using you and using the women and stuff like that. And we say, hey, listen, he not really what he made out to be. Hey, listen, he not really marrying his baby mamas. Hey, listen, he just putting on this podcast and he keeps saying that he looking for a good woman. But the podcast is the thing that keep you hooked in. And so they're going to continue to bring people up talking about, I'm looking for wifey. I'm looking for wifey. I'm trying to find my queen. God is going to reveal her to me. And they keep this whole narrative going on because they content creators and they people that continue to finesse the community. They keep this narrative going on. I can't find no good woman. Yeah, I'm divorced, but God is delivering me. And yeah, I got to find wifey and come sit on the couch so we can do a new podcast and all of this other type of stuff. And I will tell you that they are some of the biggest hypocrites because they do not live what it is that they preach, yet they continue to do shows and try to tell you how you're supposed to live your life and how much you're supposed to donate to what they got going on. It is the biggest finesse in the world, and there could not be a bigger audience to finesse than black people. And no matter how many times you tell them, no matter how many people are revealed, no matter how many guys is caught up getting a badussy bust out, you know what they gonna do? Find a new group, a new audience, a new church home for them to be able to get their money to, and can't figure out why men is saying, man, I'm not going over there to that church. I don't believe in that. They ain't really talking about nothing because they don't add no value into the community. This dude said giving is worship. Giving your money is worship that you don't have, and your whole lights is about to get cut off. Is worship. Long as they tickle your ear a little bit, long as they allow for you put up a good song, get your praise on, fall out, tap you, throw a little bit of prosperity preaching in there, you good. You good for the rest of the day. They're gonna get that money though. They gonna get that money though. 100%. And they gonna be mad at you if you get mad at them for doing the things that you go. They gonna participate in politics. They're gonna let some of the most vile creatures, Fannie Willis and Kamala Harris, they gonna come up on the pulpit and they gonna tell you to go and vote for them, and they gonna tell you what reparations is and all of this stuff, but they don't have any value to add, and that's why their communities are destroyed. They don't build the community, they tear it down. But we gonna get dressed and we gonna go to that Sunday worship. We gonna get dressed. Get dressed so we can shout our suit, put our Sunday's best on, and it ain't a saint in there. Ain't a saint walking in there. Always got a building fund. Always got a building fund. Building fund, building fund, building fund, building fund, building fund, building fund. Always doing a conference. Woman, thou art loosed conference. And woman, where's your husband concert. And woman, where out thou conference. And woman, can we save our men conference. And got an A and B selection and a C and D selection. And you leave out the door and you ain't learned nothing. Right back in the place that you started and ain't had no progress within the last 30 years. But you there, you praising it. God is good all the time. All the time. Follow your husbands. Follow your husbands and listen to their judgment, not your discernment. Your discernment led you wrong your whole life. Your discernment got you 2 kids out of wedlock by 2 different men that you wasn't supposed to be with, and now you in the church with your same discernment. Your discernment keep on leading you wrong. Follow your husbands. Follow your husbands. Your discernment got you putting your last 40 in there, and now you busting it down for a real one because you need 60 to get you through the week, and you ain't got no gas. Now you over here traveling over to his house trying to figure out what he gonna do for a real one. You know what you had to do for that 60? You had to do some crazy stuff for that $60. All because you put your last 40 in there. Your discernment got you all jammed up. You've been leaning on your own understanding for a long time as somebody that got something better for you. All right? So, yeah, that's what I think about it. Jeremy Rogers says, Anton, do you think you may be coming from a biased perspective? What biased perspective? I'm rich. What am I biased about? I understand it from both sides. I seen it from. I'm coming in through with a transparent perspective. I'm coming from a perspective that has seen it in real time and understand what it does to you and how many people get finessed out of their bag. Okay, how about this one? I do you one better. since that's what you think, or that may be what you're surmising, right? I cannot tell you how many people, evangelists, pastors, preachers, deacons, people that have traveled, people that have had a church for a long time. I cannot tell you. I cannot tell you how many of them have reached out to me for a coaching call, and they 60 and 65 and 70 and 75 years old. And they said, Anton, I was largely dependent on the church to take care of me, or for God to somehow give a windfall so that I could be taken care of for the rest of my life, and I'm broke and I don't know how to survive. And I did not take into account financial literacy or doing this, and that wasn't taught to us. And the only thing that we was taught was to shout and to praise God. And I don't know how I'm gonna feed myself next month. And I want to give you my last whatever for a coaching call. And then I have to say, no, keep your money. And here's some additional monies for you to get through the next month. And let me see what I can do and who I can hook you up with so that maybe they can give you a work from home job or something like that. Because there is no magical pill and no money that's going to fall out the sky that's going to allow for you to be able to save yourself after you depended on the church for the last 45 years. So if you asking me if I'm biased, then I'll say yes, I am biased. I'm biased because I'm tired of seeing people die poor in the community, because God don't want you to be like that. And it ain't going to come from some magical sky. It's going to come from you actually becoming financially literate. And when you go to church and they don't give you any tangible instructions on how you can change your life, but they keep on telling you to believe, just believe with the faith of the mustard seed. Sit here and tell me about if I'm biased. Of course I'm biased. I'm biased on the behalf of the people that I want to see win, and I don't want to see you dusty. Talking about, I don't know what I'm going to do. I gave my all, and they took your money and they bought a new Cadillac with it. And I ain't tripping off of that as long as you add value for the services. But when you leave broken, you ain't getting nothing in return as a result of it, except for a shiny, a sweaty sweatsuit that you shouted your teeth off with, and you thought something was going to come to save you, and it didn't. That hurts me. Hurt me when I see you. Because listen, you're not talking to a guy that's just sitting here selfishly in my crib every single week, sometimes more than once a week. I'm out giving money to the community. I give thousands. I feed the very people that go into the church to give they all. I've seen people. I've given somebody $100 because a lot of times I pass out. I ask people what they want, and then I give them double of whatever it is that they say. And I've given hundreds and hundreds of dollars of people individually. And then I've seen them go into a church and put that $100 inside of the offering plate and come back out broken, and I still had to feed them afterwards. Do you know what that's like? Do you know what it's like to give somebody some money to make sure that they last lifeline, and they believe so fervently that this person that got their best interest at heart, and that pastor take that money without any kind of reservation whatsoever, and I still got to give them the food that they need to get through the week? And you know what they say? I told you God was going to save me and look out for me. I told you that God had a ram in the bush. Think about the cycle of poverty and stupidity that we see on a daily basis. I've given somebody $100. They take my $100. It's theirs now. They can do whatever they want with it. They give it to the church. They come back out. I say, hey, where's your $100? They said, I had to make sure that I gave my pastor said. And then I still had to feed them. And they said, see, Anton, I told you that guy had a ram in the bush for me, and it came through you. It's a cycle. It's a cycle designed to keep you broke.